Selling lies and buying time, killing people next in line. Lower classes, social slime, they don't matter. Genocide, sick from water, sick from air. Making money, they don't care. Seize their shit, force them back. Fuck them back, it's only for they bomb. They shoot, they kill, they massacre, rape. They burn the kids, no one leaves countries. Lie to your face, fight and die, 'cause God forgives. Selling lies and buying time, killing people next in line. Lower classes, social side, they don't matter. Genocide, sick from water, sick from air. Making money, they don't care. See their shit, force them back, fuck them back, that's only fair. They bomb, they shoot, they kill, they massacre, rape, they burn the kids. No one leaves countries. Lie to your face, fight and die, 'cause God forgives. Yeah. Coming back around again. Yeah.
Okay, good evening. It's Thursday, December 17th, 2015. This is Game On. I'm your host, Ron Stevens, and for the next hour, we're going to go and have a look around at some stuff. I don't care where you live. We got some serious problems going on. We gotta get on top of this stuff pretty quick. Anyways, I got a call from a friend, and he's been calling me a lot the last little bit. And he was charged with obstruction over the Michael Schmidt raw milk farm raid, and Michael and 4 others were charged for obstruction. Now, they didn't actually obstruct anything, but the police and the government agents were ticked right off. The agents, the Ministry of Natural Resources, had planted spy cameras near Michael's farm, and they'd been there for a considerable amount of time. And somebody found one of them, and then they went looking and they found another one. And it's all high-def cameras. And then after that, they raided the delivery truck down in Richmond. And that was on a Friday, I think. And I think the following Monday, they raided the farm. And during that time, they loaded up a big cube van with the equipment and products, cheeses, milk, all that kind of stuff. And somebody had put a tractor across the laneway, so they couldn't get out of there with the truck. And it was really the ladies, and it was really the women that turned that around. And yeah, ain't legal just great, eh? Yeah, legal, legal, legal. Go get your legal beagle. And you know, is there a dumber dog than a beagle? I don't think so. And is there a dumber system than legal? No. So it must be the legal beagles. So it was really actually, when I was there, and I didn't get there till like 2:30 in the afternoon, but when I was there, the truck was just starting to be unloaded. And from what I saw, it was really the women who forced the hand of the ministries. There was, I don't know, 3 or 4 different ministries there. and the police. From where I stood, it looked like the women were the ones that got these banditos, if you will, to bow down. From what Michael didn't have their call to do it, and the other guys that got charged with obstruction really didn't have anything to do with the fact that the police were forced to. You get 50, 60 moral, high-minded women staring down some cops and some government agents. Well, they got intimidated by the women, by the look of it. And when they left empty-handed, they were ticked right off. So a little while after that, somebody from the police made a call to one of those charged, and they didn't call Michael. They called one of the other guys and said that there was tickets they had to come pick up at the police station, and that the guy they called was to inform the other four that they must come and pick up their tickets. Well, Michael went to get his ticket. And I want to thank all his supporters, because they had over 100 people walk down the main street of Durham, Ontario, on election night at 7 o'clock, when everybody is normally out doing the voting things, so nobody's paying attention to what's going on over at the jailhouse or over the police station. They're all glued to the TV, watching election results and whatnot, like a bunch of buffoons. I really go out to the supporters that did that walk over the police station, and the police couldn't clarify if Michael was being charged as summary or criminal. And under summary charges, you're not required to give fingerprints or mugshots or anything else. And the police couldn't qualify, because only a justice can qualify what the charge is. And even so, the police didn't seem to know the difference. And then the chief came down. He didn't seem to know the difference, nor did he care. So they held Michael overnight. And then, he says, once you get a hold of a justice or whatever, then he can tell me what I'm doing, and I'll do it. But they didn't like that either. So they forced him early in the morning for mugshot and prints, and then kicked him out the door. So the gentleman I've been talking to quite a bit lately, he said, I ain't doing this. This is bull crap. And of course it is. It's they're just angry because they got stood down. And last week I was getting a lot of calls from this gentleman that that they were cruising unmarked cars, guys with binoculars. There was talk about a helicopter over his place, and another of the so-called wanted desperados, and so they went in there day before yesterday, and he was arrested, and they didn't even try to serve the charge. At any point did they try to serve the charge. Is what they're supposed to do, and instead they put out a bench warrant, and they've been, so all this stuff get going with the mayors and that, and because it is the police boards that are liable for this stuff, and so the mayors are talking among themselves and whatever, but his mayor, because they have two different mayors, where the one gentleman lives is next township over, so they have a different mayor from where Michael lives, although they're right side by each. And so this gentleman phoned his mayor and said, you got any idea what's going on here? They did a phone campaign, the neighbors and that, to explain to the mayor that the one mayor, the one that instigated this stuff down at Michael's farm, that Enos is a very good guy, a wonderful family man, and back off, right? So this is where it get kind of weird. So he had called his mayor. I don't know how easy this is to follow, but he called his mayor and told him what was going on with Michael's mayor. And the mayor said that he knew there was a lot of unmarked cruisers cruising around, and they weren't his, and wanted to know what the hell was going on too. because he wasn't happy. So he asked that a letter be written and brought to him, and he would set up a meeting with the other mayor and tell him to back out. And this is Macon County or something. I mean, this is retarded. This is rural Ontario. So anyways, Enos, when he's talking to the mayor, he said, I'm certainly not going to do nothing stupid. I've got 4 kids and a wife, and I'm certainly not going to do nothing stupid. But if you guys, if your boys keep pushing this and keep pushing people into corners and keep wrecking their lives for them, keep dragging them in and out of courts for something that when they didn't cause any harm, it's like you're trying to escalate this into another Ruby Ridge or something. So when the cops showed up at his house yesterday, or day before yesterday, they're saying that the mayor told the police to come and pull him out of there because he threatened another Ruby Ridge. And he's telling the cops, I said exactly the opposite, right? And they said he was probably armed and dangerous and all this kind of stuff. So they dragged him out of his house, handcuffed him, no coat. And it's December, no coat, no wallet, no nothing. Took him down, took a mugshot, took his prints, chucked him out the door. And no cash, no cell phone, had to find a way home. And he just recently bought another farm, so he went over to the other farm once he got home. He wanted to do some work. And he said he was there about an hour, and then a unmarked van come rolling in the up the laneway. And then he was arrested again, and hurt pretty good this time. He's been to the doctor, and the doctor says he's going to write up some paperwork. They're concerned about permanent shoulder damage and permanent nerve damage in his wrists, and so they arrest him again. He's saying, "Well, wait a minute. I just came back from there, you twits. Do you guys not communicate with each other? Like all the paperwork's in the truck. Just go get it out of the truck, or I'll go get it out of the truck." And then they started calling him a liar and all this kind of stuff, and that he's a terrorist and all this kind of garbage. And he's going like, "You guys are, So then they finally made a phone call. And we're told that, in fact, what he was saying was true. So I was talking to him last night a bit, and thankfully he seems to have a lawyer, which I don't have any much use for lawyers. I do for scientists, but according to the lawyer, the lawyer figures he's got these guys by the shorts. But then the same night. So he got arrested twice during the day, and then that night he gets a call, and he picks up the phone, and it's another cop saying he's coming out to the farm to arrest him. And he's going, for what? Well, for this obstruction. It's already been arrested twice for that today. And do you people not talk to one another? So they're going after some pretty serious charges against the mayor, the municipality, the police, and so on and so forth. So I hope that all works out. At least nobody's been hurt too bad. But this garbage is going on all over the place. I mean, it doesn't matter where you go now. This is rural Ontario, for crying out loud. I mean, this is a place where, the average town size is probably, in this whole neck of the woods, like we have a town about every 25, 30 miles around here. That's about the basic spacing. There may be the odd little village in between them, but the actual town centers are about 25 miles, 30 miles apart. And the average size of these towns within about a 50-mile radius of here or more, the average size of the town is probably running around 6,000 people per town. This is not what you call high crime area. This is like, it's basically farm country. And this is how these people are being treated by their so-called government. And so it's not good. not good at all. So hopefully, they got to go to court on Monday. So I was talking to Michael Schmidt for a bit today, and this is like school, right? This is the same garbage as went on in the school. It's the same crap, man. Most people have been held in a position of mental non-fitness, if you will. They've never been able to get out of their child mentality that was driven into them in school. They've always been children, even after they got out of school, because they were trained to follow the rules and regulations set down by anybody in school. And but I was asking Michael if he was talking to the gentleman that I've been talking to a lot this week, and he says I can't, because part of our release thing was that we aren't allowed to communicate with each other. Now, Michael's also involved in a sheep napping case in which they were trying to save some sheep from certain death by the Ministry of Natural Resources again. And we see stories of this all over the place where somebody's growing heritage animals, heritage pigs, heritage sheep, heritage cattle, and they want them nullified. They want them gone. They don't want anything but their large corporate industrial farm food coming at you. So, they ended up killing all of those sheep and found out that the disease they said the sheep might have, could have, it's possible they have, but the only way we can tell if they have it is we kill them all. And that's what they did. They killed them all. And so they were back in court for that again. Michael and them didn't kill it. It was the government that killed them. People think sleepy rural Ontario. Nothing ever goes on in rural Ontario. I'm sure we could start a TV series about what's going on in rural Ontario right now. And it's going on in rural America, rural Britain, France, Australia, all over the place, man. Same garbage, because it's all the same template. And anyways, hopefully I can get over there on Monday and shoot some video or something. And like I told Michael, I haven't been over to the courthouse in a long old time. Well, it seems like a long time because we were there so much for a while. And I says, it's like family over there now. I got my attorneys, and I got the Crown attorneys, and I got the clerks in the clerk's office, and I got the police, and I've got the security people from the Attorney General's office tend to show up anymore over there, as they're trying somehow to convince the public that these people who live in rural Ontario are actually dangerous terrorists. So hopefully I can get some film over there. That would be good. Now, and we might just end up with a newspaper out of this yet. We're getting closer. We are getting closer. Now, there's a guy, I never heard of this guy before. He says he has, what do you call it, ADDH or whatever you call it. But he seems more versed in what he's doing than most of the so-called highly educated people. And this guy's name is Charles LeBlanc. And he hails out of Fredericton, New Brunswick. And this guy is on, because Fredericton is the main city there, that's where all the politicians and that hang out. He has easy access to them, which I don't, because I'm 2 hours out of Toronto. So this guy has easy access to all of these so-called parliamentarians and municipal government people and the police and that. And he runs a blog, I think it's just called Charles LeBlanc. But he actually has some pretty good videos. And I'm going to put one in here. And I haven't had a chance to listen to all this, and I almost fell out of my chair when I found it, because he's documenting things that have been happening to him. The police got ticked off at him because he was exposing them too much. So they came, a whole bunch of them raided his house and and took his computers and everything, and then said that they thought he might be a pedophile. And all that does is take a guy like Charles here and just makes him more determined than ever. But I see a UNB law professor, Jula Hughes, on the arrest of blogger Charles LeBlanc. And he's actually got some pretty good videos. And most of them are quite short. But here I found two videos here. One of them is blogger Charles LeBlanc makes a presentation to 50 University of New Brunswick future lawyers. And the one I guess that's part one. I was looking at part two. Only got 5 minutes into it, but it's blogger Charles LeBlanc continues a presentation to 50 University of New Brunswick future lawyers about justice. This is freaking brilliant. Okay? The government officials and the police and that treating this guy as a fool. They know he's not a fool. He kind of plays the fool a little bit, but they know he ain't a fool. They know he knows his stuff. And they do what they can to shut him down, but it doesn't seem to be working out that good. So I'm just going to put, I'm just going to throw this link in the chat, and you can, I'm going to see if I can't catch up with this guy, or if somebody else out there knows him. I'd love to get this guy on this show. It would be, I think, a lot of fun. My whole point of this is that this guy, this Charles LeBlanc, okay, is just a really super average guy, and he sees what's wrong, and I keep saying, keep talking, keep teaching, and keep shining the light, and that's exactly what this guy is doing. Okay, that's exactly what this guy is doing. I mean, he's in their face, and he's making a lot of them very, very uncomfortable, and that's what has to be done, because as long as they think they're walking around and nobody, they can do what they want, and nobody's paying any attention to it, they'll just keep on doing it. Okay, so take a boo at this guy, I mean, there's, I thought it was bad here in rural Ontario, and I've seen some of the stuff going on in New Brunswick, and you're going, holy crap. So take a boo at that guy. Now, let's see what else we got going on here. I don't know how many people have ever heard of the commissionaires before, but I phoned up, I was trying to get a hold of Justice Canada about bringing an action against the Crown, and so we can file the papers in Ontario still, but to the local level. And when I called the Ontario number, I may have brought this up on the last show, I don't remember, but I'm talking to this guy, and he doesn't seem to be that god-awful bright, and he doesn't seem to know what I'm really talking about, even though this is the phone number. And then after a while, he tells me that he's just a receptionist. Okay. And he's going to forward me to another number, which is in Ottawa, not Toronto. And I thought that was kind of odd, and I found it really odd that he couldn't just patch me through. And then it turns out he's not a receptionist at all, he's a security guard. And I'm thinking, what is a security guard doing answering the phone at Justice Canada? That makes no freaking sense. So, I said, okay, so you're not even with the government, you're working for a contractor who is picking up the phone, pretending they're receptionists when actually they're security of a private firm hired by the government. And so I think I seen these guys a few years ago, and they're called the commissionaires. Apparently, there's 20,000 of them running around the country, and it was originally started as a way. It started. Was it the Crimean War? It started after in England. Somebody come up with an idea that some of these vets coming home from the war were having a hard time finding work in that, and that they could possibly use some of these guys and offer them a bit of a career in that. So, if I can find this. So anyways, I looked this up, and where is it I'm looking for? It's at Commissionaire's office in 100 Gloucester Street, Ottawa. And it's the Canadian Corps of Commissionaires. So these guys are basically ex-RCMP and ex-Army guys who needed a job or something when they got back, which, it obviously doesn't look after a lot of them because, or the ones that do come back are too messed up to be working anywhere, I don't know. But they've changed the rules now so that you don't really have to have been in the RCMP or in the Army to get a job with the commissionaires. But it says it's a not-for-profit outfit. This one was started in Canada in 1925, a little bit after the First World War ended. And it's kind of a spooky outfit, really. They don't really, they kind of have to call them, and like they say, like they do private security for hotels and events and corporations. They don't really spend too much time talking about they don't talk too much about the government, though. They just talk about corporations and private stuff, when, in fact, by the look of it, they're in all the top government agencies. So they're really not government. That's the thing. What I'm trying to, where the heck is the main page gone to here? I had a page, I've probably lost it by now, with who is running the thing. Let me see if I can find out this way. But these guys, the board of directors or whatever, where did that page get to? It's not like they stick it right in front of your face, right? Bear with me here a second. Anyways, what I find here is more of this internationalism, more of this UN nonsense that these guys are connected to. So, it looks like these guys, I'll have to check out some more of the, or I got to call them and get a full list of all the government agencies that they have people involved in. It says about the commissionaires. The commissionaires are a private, not-for-profit Canadian company with the highest retention rate in the industry, currently employing more than 20,000 people. And it's... well, that was... Oh, here we go. Here, I got it finally. Primarily composed of former military and RCMP. Well, that makes sense because Canada is a corporation, and the Queen Crown The RCMP is really not a police force, it's a military force, and the Queen is in charge of both the RCMP and the military. And these guys, apparently, if they're in all of these government agencies, are protecting the corporation against the people. Well, who else would they be protecting it against? It says our strength is rooted in our security guarding service, where we emphasize prevention and diffusing conflict. Municipal governments and police departments trust the commissionaires to perform by law enforcement, police administration, and support and detention services. Commissionaires' identification services provide digital fingerprinting for fast turnaround from the RCMP. Our training group works to the highest industry standards. Commissionaires offers security services, including guarding, consulting, and investigations, identification services, including fingerprinting, criminal record checks, record suspensions, U.S. entry waivers, employee background screening, non-core police service, and a wide range of comprehensive training programs. So this looks like almost like a shadow police force, which is basically a shadow military force. So we have our team here, and I don't know if they got it like this stateside. They may have. They probably have it in Australia, because it came from Britain, is where it came from. So, we got this guy at the top, executive bio, Colonel WGS Bill Sutherland, CD retired, chairman of the National Board of Directors. And he has quite a long list of stuff here. And this is something I haven't looked up yet. After transitioning to civilian life, an innovative corporate culture emerged under Bill's leadership during his 10 years as the chief commissioner, which is the chief administrator officer, which is a CAO, and the CAOs are all trained to implement Agenda 21, UN Agenda 21, and bring world government to us. So this is the head of this commissionaires thing. For the specialized municipality of Strathcona County. Now, never heard of a specialized municipality. But it says, while leading a municipal corporation of 1,200 employees with an annual operating budget of upwards of $175 million, Bill's achievements include an empowered and innovative workforce, a pioneering leadership development program, a comprehensive strategic planning regime, enhanced municipal governance, and a holistic approach to sustainable community development. Well, that's all Agenda 21. So now we have this. I guess it's almost like a shadow military helping to bring in the UN agenda here. In 2007, Bill assumed the role of executive advisor and municipal team leader for Beacon for Change, Inc., which I don't know what the hell that is. I mean, you get looking around, folks, and it gets a little weird because, you just keep tripping over stuff that you didn't know existed. Beacon for Change. Let's take a quick look at this. This is Beacons for Change. Leadership and management consulting, coaching, training, Edmonton and Calgary, Alberta and British Columbia. Let's see what these clowns are up to. People watch the TV to try to get their news. You're not going to get the news there. So what are these people up to here? The municipal team, strategic planning, project manager, change management, company. Let's see here. Oh, what the hell is this? It's not really where I was going to head to today, but Strategic planning, facilitation. We all know what facilitation is. That's where they bring the facilitators in. Change management, organization development, executive coaching. President's message. Thank you for visiting our website, yada, yada, yada. It really doesn't say much about that. But he's a Chinaman. They're change agents, no doubt here. But anyways, that's what they are. So we go back. Where did I get this one from? Here to... Nope. Anyways, I'm going to fire this into the chat, this commissionaires thing, and I'm going to have to give them a call because I don't know who are they getting paid by? They're a private not-for-profit company, and they got 20,000 people working there. So is this all contract or, what the hell's going on here? Or is this paid for by the government, right? It's like a quasi government company. It's kind of strange because when we got the head of the outfit, who's obviously a UN minion, they got some of the people that they do work for, but it's really, you can look these guys up on YouTube too, which I did, and it's a little strange because I got a feeling that most of their people are actually guarding government entities, and the hotels and that they do some work for. I really think that's just kind of like as window dressing to keep your eyes off what they're really up to. But I'll have to call them and find out. It's always good to get it from the horse's mouth. It's the best place to go for information is right to the ones that are involved in it. So anyways, that's the commissionaires. If you're a Canadian or wherever you're from, you should take a look at it and see if there's something in your neck of the woods that is similar. And I'm gonna stuff this in too, because I'm gonna start putting some posters up, and I don't have a lot of time to dick around with this stuff. So this thing's called Mobile Fish, and it has it's not bad. They got a whole bunch of stuff that they do in here. You don't have to sign up for it or nothing, but they do have where is that down near the bottom? They got a mugshot maker. They've got online imager photo editors and that kind of stuff. It's all online stuff. You don't have to register for it. That's the upside. And they also have somewhere in here, they have, I think it's down near the bottom, they have wanted poster generator. So I did a couple up yesterday, and it's not that bad, really. So my wanted posters are probably going to say something along, I will take, say, our Prime Minister and say he's wanted for crimes, and that he's a member of the International Criminal Syndicate, and if you see him or catch up with him, then just we'll call Crime Stoppers or something, right? Something like that on there. I don't want people saying, wanted dead or alive shit. That'll get you maybe some interest, but maybe not the particular interest you want. But I would like to see people calling places like Crime Stoppers, if you see Trudeau or whoever, your local councillor, I'm going to do it for my local council too, my mayor and that, because my mayor and my council and my CAO are all members, and this you can justify because you can back it up. You don't want to put something down you can't back up, right? That's the rule of thumb, always has been. And if you can't back it up, then you write it as a question. Is it possible that our prime minister is a member of an international crime syndicate? You see, that nobody will bother you over that. But I don't have to do that. I can say our prime minister is a member of an international crime syndicate, and that's quite provable. And it's all about shining the light on these clowns, man. We got to get the light on them somehow. And anyways, down near the bottom of that page, there is a wanted poster maker. It's pretty quick, and it was the best one I found, anyways. And it does have mugshots and target practice posters. You can also make up and put your favorite person and put a target over them or whatever. I'm not really into that, but if that's your game, then so be it. Have fun with it. But, that is the shooting target. That's the wrong one. Anyways, I'll get you. Yeah, okay, so you can make a target out of anything on that. But down near the bottom of the page there's a thing for making wanted posters. And it's pretty quick. And it ain't bad. So if you want to out somebody in your local municipal town level or your state level or your federal level or maybe the international level, take you no time flat to do up a quick poster. And like I said, you don't have to register, which is always good. Now, here's another, I was talking to, we're working on a house next little town up, and the owner's daughter is going out with a guy who's in the Army for the last, I think we said it was 14 years or something. And he's actually being, what do you call it, post-traumatic stress or something. Nice guy, really nice guy, intelligent guy, really intelligent. But see, sometimes the light just goes off, eh? And I think he did a couple of tours over to Afghanistan, Iraq, wherever the hell he was at. And just a really nice guy. Not rah, rah, rah. He's a very caring young guy. Oh, he's not that young now. He's 30 or something. But, we got talking about some stuff. And it's, I don't know what wakes people up. Something just clicks in their brain or something, and they say, something ain't right here. I got to go look this. I got to go check some of this stuff out. So he, like so many people, has been doing research and whatnot. And I said, well, that's great. You don't want to quit the Army. You want to explain to your Army buddies what's going on. And he says, I don't have any Army buddies anymore because I tried to explain what's going on, and they don't want to hear it. And that's typical. Most people that get, fairly involved in research and that and try to tell people what they're finding out, find out that all those friends they had all of a sudden seem to disappear. But we can have a good conversation, and so that's a good thing. So we got this young guy that was in the Army, and now he's getting out of the Army, and he just wants to pass information along, which is exactly what needs to be done. Now, we live in a very big country, and I'm not going to find that either. Anyways, I was looking at some stuff last night, and it was in Calgary, I believe. I don't know if I still have that. picture up or what? Okay, here's one story. Anyways, I was kind of rooting across the country last night, seeing what's cooking because I don't listen to radios and I don't watch TV. And I run across this. This is how insane it's getting. You see these, micro homes and mini homes and all this kind of stuff all over the place now. And I lived in Calgary. I was a reporter in Calgary a long time ago. But, here's a story of real estate. Microloft development, Calgary's East Village finding a big market. So they cracked up a development, and they've only started selling it 4 weeks ago, and they've already got 40% of this project sold. And because it's very impressive stuff what they're selling as far as housing goes, it's actually quite nice. It's in the East Village, they call that in Calgary, and they claim to have the city's smallest floor plan, starting at just 368 square feet. And it's 40% sold. Not only is it a tiny apartment or condo, I guess it is, it's tiny a condo, 368 square feet. Ouch. I mean, ouch. But then it has a very tiny price tag on it too. So you can get 368 square feet of roominess with a very tiny little price tag of 180 grand on it. Of course, there'll be monthly condo fees and whatnot attached to that on top of that. So you may be paying $800 a month or $600 a month condo fees in Calgary on top of your $180,000 price tag. This is how stupid this is getting. Now, I saw another article. Like when I was in Vancouver and Edmonton and Calgary, the old parts of town, they had the laneways, so the backyards didn't back up to your fence, didn't back up to my fence. There was a road down through there because your garages were normally at the back, so you go in the lane there and go into your garage from there, and those lanes were used for garbage trucks to roll up and down and whatnot. And then they started in Vancouver turning the garages into like little houses and stuff. And now they're talking about doing laneway high rises and stuff, right? So it's just the crowding. So anyways, the guy, this one guy bought one, and he's pretty happy about it. But the one of the developers, I guess it is saying that, he's not quite sure, but it will come because Vancouver is usually more innovative on these things, and because they're more like California, they're nuts. So they're on the leading edge of these new innovations and that. He's not sure just yet if Calgary's ready for the latest big improvement in Vancouver. Where's those numbers? Yada, 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 yada. Oh, yes. Mr. Bastilia is already sizing up the super micro scene, such as the large, spacious condos available in Vancouver. These are big condos. They're spacious. They're on the West Coast. And they're now selling condos in Vancouver with a massive 226 square feet. And it just reminds me, I don't know how long ago that was. That's got to be at least 20 or better years ago. I saw a show or a newscast or something on the TV where they were making micro hotels. I think it was in Tokyo or somewhere in the neck of the woods, and it was like coffins. You slide these things out of the wall, and then you crawl into them, and then I guess you push a button and it slides you back in. To save space. To save space. Well, I mean, maybe British Columbia has 4 million people in it, somewhere in there. California has 30, what is it, 36 or 38 million? I think it was 38 million last time I checked. And you could pick up California, drop it into British Columbia, and damn place would disappear. You wouldn't even find it likely. But we're building 226 square foot condos because we can't build out into nature any longer. Doing the same thing down along the Greenbelt, along the 401 by Toronto, and they're going to crank that down, and just keep expanding and expanding and expanding the population growth till you choke on each other, okay? Until you can't stand it anymore, okay? Until you got to take pills for anxiety, and you've got to see psychologists for your mental well-being. You see, this is all part of the game they play. They put you into situations that you can't deal with it anymore. And then who is there to help you and counsel you and drug you? Why, the very ones that put you in the position that you got all screwed up in the first place. So those who harm you come to help you. And most people can't make that simple damn connection. They just can't seem to make it, And I don't know why it's so hard to make. I mean, it was there, acts and regulations and that put you in the position of where you're going to be squeezed into smaller and smaller and smaller spaces with higher and higher and higher density. And mix every culture you can get your hands on until it explodes. And from there, we can still continue to feed the jails and the prisons, and give all of these university professors or university grads with their little degrees on how to help humanity. And they're too stupid. They must be stupid. They made it all the way through university without understanding what was going on. So they can't be real bright people. Or they would have figured it out before they got out the other end of this thing. And I ain't moving to the city. I'll tell you that right now. That ain't going to happen. I mean, they're going to try and shut down most rural towns if they can. Because, the grasshopper needs to stretch his legs a little better than he is now. And, you and I are the problem, and I suppose it's better just to cage us in these massive... I don't know where you go. Like, where do you go from 226 square foot condo? Can you go lower? Can you get lower? Can you, go 200 even? Is that too small? I mean, the room I'm sitting in right now is not that, I don't consider it that big, but the room I'm sitting in here doing this show in, I think, is 255 square feet. And my kitchen's 255 square feet. So, the room I'm sitting in, which has 2 couches in it and a wall unit and a coffee table, and my desk and the chair I'm sitting in is 255 square feet, which apparently is bigger than the 226 square foot condo in Vancouver. And I just can't imagine how the hell I would get a bathroom. I'm looking in this room I'm in. A bathroom, a bedroom, a kitchen, a living room. How the hell do you do that? You know, I don't know. I really don't know how you would do that. But she's probably easy to heat, eh? You know, maybe that's the point. Because they don't want you to have electricity or heat or water, so maybe that's the plan. But I am certainly not going to be moving in no 226 square foot condo. But as he says, I got a couple minutes. As he says, this guy says, is already sizing up the super micro scenes, such as the 226 square foot condos available in Vancouver, but he admits he's not convinced Calgary is ready for such tiny lodgings. I lived out in Alberta. There's nothing there. Okay, it's 3 hours, I think, between Edmonton and Calgary, if I remember right. And then there's Red Deer in the middle, and Medicine Hat and Lethbridge at the bottom. And other than that, Alberta's kind of empty, right? You have little towns here and there, but for all intents and purposes, Alberta's basically empty. You got two main cities, and that's about it. We used to ride horses out there in the foothills. Massive expanses of nothingness. It's not nothing. It's beautiful. I mean, it's really beautiful. Nothing like riding horses up in them foothills. But there's no shortage of land in Alberta. Certainly not. And but see, it says here, goes on, it says Calgary's generally a little behind on innovations like this, but it usually gets there eventually. Would we rule out going even smaller? No. And this is from the 300 and some odd square foot joint they're selling there now. We're always up for pushing the boundaries. It's something we may test on a reduced scale at some point in the future. Is Calgary there yet? I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know, people. I really don't know. I was actually going to talk about sex tonight. I was looking into who some of the partners were in creating the sex education program for the public school system. I had a chance to look a little bit at that last night, and that's kind of where I was going to go. But all this nonsense that's been going on about what's going over with Michael Schmidt and that is got my mind over there. And speaking of Michael, just before we get off air, if I can find it here, because I have way too many. Here, this will work. Support Michael Schmidt. I'm just going to stuff this into the chat before I get out of here, and you can slide over there if you wish. He's busy with his kids, sheep napping right now. I mean, these guys know no bounds of decency. I'm not talking about Michael and that. Your RV is 230 square feet. Now, would you consider living in that 24/7? 6 of us lived in it for a year in the oil patch. Okay, but you weren't. You were. Yeah, okay. But I ain't living in one. Yes, actually, Ron has been in a prison cell, and they're not the most comfortable place. But don't be surprised, because in that article it says, "Can we go lower?" So don't be surprised if that 236 square feet or whatever as we're talking about doesn't shift its way down to 55 square feet. I mean, they're grinding us down. Anyways, I hear music, and let's see what's going next. We'll go over at midnight, and hopefully by then I can get Farmers on the air. So, I wonder, why don't